Hey, Mark from Sound Matters here. Today I've just got a very quick video to share a couple of records with you. So I've got the VMP releases for August. I've got the Essentials one on the left here and the Classics release on the right here. Now, they tend to be quite nice products, the VMP releases, so I just wanted to unpackage each of these records. We'll share that experience together and hopefully we can talk about the artists and the records in the comments and share the experience together. So let's get straight into that and we'll unpackage each one of these records one by one. Okay, so record number one is Beverly Glenn-Copeland, and this is his second album. Not entirely sure what to expect from this because it's brand new to me, but it's an album from 1970, and from the description here I'm expecting something that goes away from his earlier work, which is more sort of folk driven, into more experiments in digital synthesis. So I'm not sure, maybe this is going to be a little bit kind of, down the Brian Eno kind of route perhaps, which I'm a big fan of, but I'm looking forward to discovering it. And part of having a record subscription, of course, is all about the discovery side. So the range that I've had from the VMP Essentials releases has been rather wide. We've had the Doors, of course, 1 month. We've had the Mars Volta last month, and now something a lot more experimental and electronic and genre defying in this release is what I'm expecting to get here. The hype sticker tells us who mastered the record, which I always like. So we've got Guy Davey at Electric Mastering. It's always good to know that there's a good mastering engineer, good person for cutting the lacquers for the vinyl copy of this. It's always nice to know who's done it. We get that from the hype sticker straight away. But anyway, let's get straight into unpackaging the record because I'm expecting this to be quite a nice release. Just peel away that plastic wrapping, of course, and this just tells us, of course, like any other VMP Essentials release, a little bit about the record, gives us some backstory behind that, so you read that in my own time. And here's our custom art print, which we normally get with each one of the VMP Essentials releases. I really like these custom art prints because a lot of them are really worth framing. So they come in this 12-inch format, which is great. So they fit inside a record frame. And in fact, here's one I did earlier with the Doors one, which I'm now looking to put up somewhere, either in this room, in my little office here, stroke vinyl den, or somewhere else in my home. But they make great little collectible pieces, and occasionally you'll get one that's just really worthy of putting up on the wall. And look at this kind of almost like pastel type art drawing, which I think is really rather beautiful. So it's a nice little painting like that. There's the back cover here. Beverly Glenn-Copeland, looks really lovely. I always like the spot. I don't know what you call it. You get this kind of, you see as the light kind of reflects on there, you get that kind of shiny side of things. It just adds a premium feel to the way the record is. Really nice product. There's the full front cover, so you can see without all the rest of the gubbins all over it. Open it up, it's a nice gatefold. Here we have obviously all the lyrics kind of put into the album artwork here. Really nice, thick, solid card. I always bang on about this with the VMP releases, but I always do find that compared to so many other albums that I get, the board that it's printed on really feels premium and heavyweight, which I just love it. I just think that's absolutely brilliant. It's a coloured vinyl. Let's see what this looks like. And would you look at that kind of watery effect there with the blue. Hopefully that's coming out on the camera, but that is really stunning, isn't it? I actually love that. Vinyl, it's all about the packaging in many regards, in that the experience and the art of producing an album, I think, is at its peak, at its pinnacle with vinyl, and it's one of the big reasons why it survives as a format to this day. It's just, you just lose all of this with streaming. The whole art of the product and the experience of that is just absolutely stunning. So I like that. I mean, some people get funny about coloured vinyl and particularly kind of splattered vinyl effects like this, as the sound quality is in many regards can be a little bit higher with black vinyl, but in my experience, as I've said many times on this channel, the quality of modern coloured vinyl is just better and better, I find, these days, and certainly isn't as bad as it was perhaps in the bad old days. Colour vinyl, let's face it, the quality wasn't quite as good as it was today. I'm sure there's been improvements in the manufacturing process, and I find that for the most part coloured vinyl sounds pretty damn good these days. Right, and there we go, we've got a nice little booklet here that just gives us the story behind Beverly Glenn-Copeland. These are always nice written pieces, and VMP seem to have a whole bunch of authors that work on these, and they're normally really nice little booklets and stories and backstories behind the artist that you can sit back and enjoy whilst you're listening to the record. Just adds a little bit more of that premium feel to the release again, and really emphasises the importance of product and making a premium experience from each one of the releases that they send out. So that's looking promising. I can't wait to hear what the music's like on here, but the product itself, I think you'll agree, is really quite beautiful. You don't get on camera just the feel of the whole thing. It just feels really nice and premium. This lovely kind of matte finish on here as well, I really like. It's not a high gloss finish, it's a lovely matte finish, and just little touches, as I say, like these kind of embossed kind of shiny elements in terms of that. Just goes the extra mile compared to some releases out on the market. But anyway, that's Beverly Glenn-Copeland. Can't wait to hear that. Let me know if you've heard this record before, and if you're a fan, let us know in the comments below. But we're going to get straight into our second record now. Alright, so record number 2 is the Classics release from VMP for August, and it's Bill Withers Justments. And most people will know Bill Withers from the classic songs Ain't No Sunshine and Just the Two of Us. So those real big hits, those big classics. And I believe this is from more of his earlier catalogue, this album. So I'll be interested to see what this is like. Be really nice to sort of delve a little bit more into Bill Withers. I know the big hits, but I don't know the earlier part of his catalogue, or certainly don't know this album. So I'm looking forward to digging in a little bit and learning about this particular release. Like a lot of the classics range from VMP, they tried to go back to the original master tapes, and Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound, as it says here, does a lot of these lacquers for the VMP Classics range. Really great mastering engineer, and it's done on 180 gram, as it says here, black audiophile vinyl, for those who are more the purist and would prefer to have black vinyl and may worry about some of the potentials for not sounding as good in terms of, as I said earlier, coloured vinyl. I find it's very good these days on for the most part, but for the audiophile purist, this is on black audiophile vinyl. Comes with a booklet as well, so let's get straight into this and open the record, just as we did with the other one. And this is more of a gloss kind of finish to this album. We had more of a matte feel. I find a lot of the classics releases are a little bit more traditional in terms of the album artwork. Less of those kind of maybe premium elements of matte finishes and spot varnishes and things like that. Although we do still have, as always, that kind of nice shiny kind of spot print for the VMP Classics thing here, and it's always on this really lovely thick card, as I keep talking about. But it really does feel, although we don't have the gatefold in this circumstance, we do have a really nice premium feeling board that it's printed on, which is always nice. So just pull the sleeve out there, nice quality lined paper sleeve, so that wherever possible they tend to have the polyethylene lining in the sleeve, so even if we have a paper inner sleeve like this one, we've got that polyethylene anti-static sleeve on the inside here, which is great. Again, just adding to that kind of premium feel about it. Love the artwork, love the bold colours, really vintage here. This album, I believe this album's from 1974, but some lovely vintage 70s vibes about some of the colours on this. And there we go, so we're on the Sussex label here. Look at that retro logo, love that. So I believe this record label went under shortly after the release of this album. Perhaps if you know the history behind that, perhaps you can let us know in the comments below. But the Sussex label there, and it's a real 70s looking logo, look at that, and those retro vibe colours, absolutely amazing, really of its time. Love that. So let's pop that record back in there. Nice heavy 180 gram vinyl. and I'll look forward to learning a little bit more about some of the earlier catalogue of Bill Withers. We normally have a liner notes booklet in here. Let's see if this one comes with one. Actually, in this circumstance, the liner notes is not shipping. There may have been an issue, I think, with the delayed shipping with this. So I think maybe, perhaps that might be coming later down the line. I can't remember. There was an email that went out, but normally there's a little booklet that looks like this. So this is from the previous one that previous Classics release. So yeah, not sure. I mean, this one didn't have that for whatever reason. I guess there was a slight delay in the production, and it wasn't included on this one. But there we go. You know, that's the way it is. I mean, there's so many bottlenecks in record production these days. You know, just the fact that there's only one company, I think, now globally, because after the whole global, Apollo fire, the whole Apollo fire that happened in early 2020, that produced the lacquers. So getting hold of the lacquers is such a bottleneck. Let alone the kind of amount of pressing plants that are out there to meet demand and everything. It's such a difficult process these days getting vinyl out. So these things happen, and it's just the way it is. Right, so I did actually just go and check my email very quickly to see what was happening with the booklet that's supposed to be included in here, and I was right in my thinking that the booklet, there's a slight delay on that, and that will be shipped separately free of charge. And I think they wanted to send the record out without it, as to not delay people's subscriptions, and make sure that they actually got the main thing, which is the record, and the liner notes in the interim are available to read online. So if you are a VMP member, Classics member, and you're slightly confused as to where your booklet is, then there you go, that's what's going on. I believe this will arrive slightly separately, but you have your record in the meantime. Thank you ever so much for watching. That's all we got time for today, but if you're a fan of either of these artists or these records, please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next video.